Okay, so I need to be honest with you about something. When someone first described the Santa Cruz to me, the model, the plan, the whole concept, I was skeptical. Because luxury barndominium gets thrown around a lot. And most of the time what people actually mean is nice finishes on a basic box. The Santa Cruz is not a basic box. And living in one, or spending serious time inside one, is a completely different experience from just seeing photographs of it. Because photographs don't tell you how a building feels. They don't tell you what the light does at 7 a.m. They don't tell you what it sounds like when the wind comes in off the coast. That's what this video is. Not a tour. Not a render breakdown. What it's actually like to be inside this thing. Day to day. Real life. Subscribe to Barndominium Haven right now and hit the bell. We go deeper on barndominium design and real living experience than anyone else on this platform. Drop a comment below, have you heard of the Santa Cruz model before today? Because I want to know how far this plan has traveled. Let's get into it. Let's establish what we're talking about. Because Santa Cruz means two things here and both of them matter. Santa Cruz, California. Coastal. Pacific facing. The kind of place where the light is never quite the same twice, the air has salt in it, and the relationship between indoors and outdoors is everything. That location shaped an entire design sensibility, laid back but considered, open but sheltered, casual but never cheap. The Santa Cruz barndominium model takes that sensibility and builds it in steel. It's a specific plan configuration, open layout, strong indoor-outdoor connection, coastal material palette, and a spatial generosity that you simply don't get in conventional residential construction at this price point. This is not a small building pretending to be luxurious. The Santa Cruz has genuine volume. Genuine ceiling height. Genuine connection to the landscape it sits in. And the luxury designation isn't about marble countertops and gold fixtures. It's about spatial quality. About how the building makes you feel when you're inside it. That's the only definition of luxury that actually matters to me. Here's the thing nobody talks about with the Santa Cruz. The first morning you wake up in it, before you've had coffee, before you've fully processed where you are, you notice the light. Because of the way the Santa Cruz positions its primary glazing relative to the roofline, morning light doesn't just come in through a window. It comes in at an angle. Raking across the ceiling. Catching the texture of whatever surface material is up there, exposed steel purlin, timber lining board, smooth plaster, and making it visible in a way that changes every 15 minutes as the sun moves. That's not an accident. That's the design doing what it was designed to do. The ceiling height in the main living zone, and I want to be specific because this matters, gives you a volume of space that feels genuinely different from a standard residential room. You don't feel compressed. You don't feel like the walls are making decisions for you. And in a coastal California context, where the relationship between the interior and the horizon is everything, that volume is what connects the inside of the building to the scale of the landscape outside. You wake up and the building reminds you where you are. That's what good residential architecture does. The Santa Cruz does it every single morning. The indoor-outdoor connection in the Santa Cruz is the thing I keep coming back to. It's the thing that makes this model specifically Californian in a way that isn't just stylistic. In a lot of barndominium designs, even good ones, the outdoor connection is an afterthought. Big sliding door on one wall. Done. Deck bolted on. Done. The Santa Cruz doesn't do that. The plan is organized so that the primary living spaces wrap around the outdoor zone rather than simply opening onto it. You're not going from inside to outside. You're moving between two versions of the same space, one with a roof over it, one without. The covered transition zone, the area between the interior and the open exterior, is one of my favorite features in this entire model. It handles coastal weather like nothing else. Morning coastal fog. Afternoon wind off the Pacific. That transitional covered zone means you're outside, genuinely outside, air and light and sound, without being exposed in a way that makes outdoor living impractical. In Santa Cruz, California, that matters enormously. The weather is mild but it moves. It changes. The building needs to accommodate that movement rather than force you to choose between being fully inside or fully outside. The Santa Cruz accommodates it. Elegantly. Let me walk you through what the spatial experience actually feels like moving through this plan. Because floor plans on paper don't prepare you for what it feels like in your body. You enter from the covered entry, and the entry sequence in the Santa Cruz is deliberately compressed. Low ceiling. Defined threshold. It's intentional. You're being prepared for the volume that's about to open up. And then it opens. The main living zone hits you and the ceiling releases. That compression to release sequence, tight entry to voluminous main space, is one of the oldest tricks in architectural history, and the Santa Cruz uses it correctly. The kitchen sits in relationship to the living and dining zones in a way that feels social rather than functional. You're not isolated in the kitchen. You're part of the room while you're in the kitchen. That matters enormously for how a family actually uses a home day to day. The primary suite. Here's my honest opinion, this is where the Santa Cruz earns the luxury designation most clearly. The suite isn't just a large bedroom with a big bathroom. The spatial sequence from bedroom to bathroom to exterior connection is considered. There's a logic to it. A privacy gradient that takes you from the most public zone of the house to the most private one through a series of deliberate spatial transitions. Most barndominium plans treat the primary suite as the last room on the list. In the Santa Cruz, it feels like it was designed first. Alright. Let's talk about what nobody warns you about when you're considering the Santa Cruz model. Because I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to give you the real picture. The coastal material palette, and the Santa Cruz leans into this heavily, requires maintenance attention that an inland build doesn't. Salt air is not kind to metal. Standing seam roofing in a coastal environment needs to be specified correctly, coatings matter, fastener materials matter, sealant details at penetrations matter. If your builder isn't talking to you about coastal grade specifications, that's a problem. The indoor-outdoor connection that makes this model so compelling is also its biggest vulnerability if the transition zones aren't detailed correctly. Water intrusion at the covered transition between inside and outside, if the slope, the drainage, and the threshold details aren't right, will give you problems. Expensive problems. Make sure your contractor has coastal barndominium experience or has done serious homework on coastal detailing. And the glazing. The large format glazing that makes the Santa Cruz feel so open and connected to the landscape. In a coastal salt air environment, you need glazing systems with corrosion-resistant hardware. Standard residential sliding door hardware in a beachside location will fail faster than you expect. None of these are reasons not to build the Santa Cruz on a coastal site. They're reasons to build it carefully. With the right team. With the right specifications. The bones of this model are exceptional. The details have to match. I want to address the luxury question directly. Because it's the word in the title and it deserves an honest answer. Is the Santa Cruz barndominium genuinely luxurious? Or is it barndominium construction dressed up with a premium location name? Here's my answer. And I mean this. The Santa Cruz earns the luxury designation spatially. The volume, the light quality, the indoor-outdoor connection, the entry sequence, the primary suite organization, these are genuinely considered architectural decisions that produce a living experience that conventional residential construction at similar or higher cost frequently doesn't deliver. Where it doesn't automatically earn it is in the finishes. And this is important. The Santa Cruz model gives you a framework, a spatial framework of genuine quality. What you put inside that framework is entirely up to you and your budget. Builder-grade finishes inside the Santa Cruz are still builder-grade finishes. The architecture doesn't make cheap tile look expensive. So the honest answer is, The Santa Cruz is a luxury spatial experience that requires luxury finish decisions to be a luxury home. The architecture does its job at the highest level. The rest is on you. That's actually the right way for architecture to work. The building creates the conditions. You create the home. Living in the Santa Cruz, or spending serious time inside one, doesn't feel like living in a barndominium. It feels like living in a building that was designed for exactly where it sits and exactly how you live. Which is the whole point of architecture. Which is what most buildings, at any price point, completely fail to deliver. The Santa Cruz doesn't fail at that. It succeeds at it in a way I find genuinely impressive every time I'm inside one. The light in the morning. The covered outdoor zone handling the coastal weather. The compression and release of the entry sequence. The primary suite that feels designed first rather than added last. Those aren't marketing points. Those are spatial realities. And spatial realities are the only thing that matters when you actually live somewhere. If you're seriously considering the Santa Cruz model, subscribe to Barndominium Haven. We're going deeper on this plan in upcoming videos: site orientation strategies, coastal specification details, finish package breakdowns. Leave me a comment. What's the one thing about living in a building like this you most want to know? Because that comment is probably the next video. See you in the next one.